friend, Emily. Welcome to my home. I've got Teddy behind me. We're sitting butt to butt, and we've got Oscar over here, and Jimmy is currently watching one of his shows. So let's get into what I've been working on the past couple weeks. Guess what? I have a fully finished project. I'm going to insert a picture. Well, actually, first, let me show you what I did. So I finished up, there it is, Semiquincentennial by Ironworks Designs. And this looks like, sorry, everything is very slow. Look like that. And I finished stitching this a couple episodes ago, or maybe it was just last episode. I think it was just last episode. And then I fully finished it on Father's Day for my father. The pillow itself turned out way bigger than I expected because I decided that I was going to put fabric on either side of the design and then and on top, and then put the backing on. I'd never done that before in a project. I kind of just went with my intuition, and it worked out fabulous. Worked out absolutely fabulous. I did not use any of the lizard glitter, or I don't remember what it's called, crushed walnuts, because by the time I was done stuffing it with my natural wool, I felt like it was plenty substantial in weight for what I had planned on for my father. I did use the technique that after I would stuff it for a bit and I would get it super fat, I would then use my iron on a super hot setting and then come in from the back side and squish down and push down on the area that I had just stuffed to kind of even it out, any lumps and bumps and stuff. And I would hold it there, squishing down the hot iron for I don't think it was more than 30 seconds each time, but that would also tell me how the stuffing was in that area, and I would reposition things, restuff things, and stuff it some more. I had never done that technique before either. I found it very useful, and I really liked the results way better than I've ever liked the results from my stuffing pillows or knit or crocheted animals or any of that before. This worked so much better for me. I really liked it. I'm so excited. So I did stitch this on 28 count Lugana from the Lori Holt line. I can't remember what the colorway is of the fabric, but I did stitch it 2/2 using the called, well, yeah, did I? Yeah, I used the called for, let's see the key. Yes, I used the 4 called for colors in the pattern. I didn't deviate. And then, yeah, I finished it like a pillow. And I just had that fabric as scrap in my fabric stash. So that's what I used. And I thought it worked. I thought it complemented it very well. It was received very well by my father. He really liked it. He's dyslexic, so he did struggle. Actually, the entire family struggled to actually say the word semiquincentennial that's written on it. We were all having a good time about it. And on Father's Day, they passed it around the family members, and everybody was looking at it, and especially my sister Amy. My sister Amy is so good for my creative soul. Everything I produce, she is so encouraging, and she just loves everything I'm doing. And she doesn't watch my YouTube channel, but she does love to see in person what I'm working on, and we have great conversations about that. I am just so grateful for my sister Amy. She is quite the cheerleader. So I did finish that. Otherwise, I have worked on a couple projects, I think 4, maybe 5. We'll get into it. I didn't count before I sat down. No, 6, I think, actually. Yeah. One of the big things I'll get into right now, actually, first before we get into the actual other projects, I'll just go ahead and do what I've purchased. And I will link at least this one down below. But I did order this stand from Amazon that has this clip and a gooseneck, and I can rotate it however I want. I am noticing that this little rotating thing right here, I'm still trying to figure out where all the screws tighten for things. See, but there is some like interesting stuff, dynamics going on about where things land, at least for this project. But one thing I seriously like is look how easy that was to take that off of there. And now I can show you my full project, my full coverage project that I'm working on. But this stand was super inexpensive on Amazon. I think it was $26. Might be even less right now with Prime Day stuff. And I think that is a good alternative. I can't afford to get things like a Lowry stand or anything like that, but this is a great alternative for me. I do have a needle in the works. Do I want to take that needle out of my big project? Yeah, I'll just go ahead and take it out because I'll know where I'm at. So let's go ahead. On my full coverage project, which is mini traveling lighthouse, which you guys have seen multiple times at this point. I will share one more time the image. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I did show my sister this, Amy, on Sunday as well, and she was like, holy crap, you're stitching that? I was like, yeah. She's like, I would never have the patience for that. But here's the mini traveling library. And I am currently up in this corner right here, especially working on all the dark colors. What got me super excited is this week I have completed the first 2 colors of that I've been working for color completion on this project, and I brought in now the 3rd color, which I am now working on DMC 814, and it is a maroony color. So I now have color coming in to this project, and that just makes me so happy. I've been really enjoying that. And I'll tell you in just a second how many stitches I've done. But so this is 2 pages of the project, and you can start to see the beam going up there for the top of the wagon. So there's that. And then I believe this is the shelf that's coming in on the side here. Yeah, I believe that's the bookshelf that's over here that I am framing out right now. So it's nice to see that I'm starting to get a sense of what is going on in this picture. So it looks really good, at least to me. I know it's all like black and stuff like that. And you're like, Emily, I'm not seeing much going on. But for me, I am. So currently I have 2,577 stitches. And so since we last spoke, okay, so it looks like my last episode was uploaded on June 8th. Was that only a week and a half ago? I thought I was late in recording. Weird. Okay. So I've stitched 3 days on this project since June 8th. And I've stitched 265 one day, 291 another day, and 110 another day. So let's add that up, shall we? Let's see. 265 plus 291 plus 110. So that's a total, oh my gosh. What is with me in this project? I've stitched a total of 666 stitches. That's a really weird thing. That's the second time in two episodes that I have stitched an awkward 666 number. What is that telling us? Let's think about that subconsciously. I guess I'm having that Flosstube itchy nose thing. I didn't think that was a thing. Do I do that in my other episodes? Do I itch my nose and I just have never noticed it before? Because right now it's super itchy and I have no idea why. If I was knitting or working with spinning fiber, I would totally understand. If I was working with fleece, I don't know. So let's see if I can't keep a running total of everything I've stitched. But I am behind schedule in this project. So I need to get cracking. I am about, okay, so let me see here. Bookmark 666, because now for this month, 254, 245, and 173, I've stitched 1,338, and since we are now currently on week 4, I should have 2,000 stitches by the end of this week. So I am 700 stitches behind schedule. So I got to get going on that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to open up my note tracker and I'm going to write down 666 for mini traveling library, and that way we can keep track together about what I have stitched for the last week and a half. 1, 2, no, I am late. I'm 3 days late. I thought I was like early. What? I don't understand myself anymore. All right, let's put that aside. The next big thing that I stitched on was my Lila Studios project that I absolutely love. You guys, I have heard many comments of you guys absolutely loving Where Love Resides is the pattern. Okay, that's as best as I can get it. So Where Love Resides by Lila Studios. I have stitched all of this down to here. I've stitched the home. I have stitched now this week, since I've come back, I have now stitched Where and most of Resides, I think, and I've been working on here. I've actually been working on the people right here. And I was talking to my sister Amy about this and how I want it to really represent my family. So I'm doing 1/1/20 count, so I can't make anything even smaller. But I'm going to try and figure out how to convert this one dog into 2 dogs, the black one for Oscar and the blonde one for Teddy. And then also where this current dog is, I want to put Jimmy in there. So our whole family is represented. So I've got some charting to do. But at the moment, I am at a place where I am, of course, have a needle sticking right in the middle of where I want you guys to see everything. But this is what I have been working on, and I love it so much. So Where Resides, I was able to fit in here. And then I've been seriously filling in all of this. I got the flower in, which I think looks stunning. And I currently was working, I got his the guy's jacket and the girl's entire dress in, and her hat, and I was currently working on her face, but I paused because I'm not sure that the colorway that I chose is going to be great for skin tone, although the skin tone is very small in here, so maybe I can just go with it, because it's like literally 3 stitches for her and like 2 or 3 stitches for him, and then his hand is down somewhere. Oh no, her hand is right there. That's 1 stitch. And then of course there's Jimmy. I might just be able to get away with it, but I did have to stop yesterday in order to get some other things done. We're going to have a conversation, my friends, about what's been going on in Emily's life at the end of this episode. Whew! But I just love this piece so much. I don't want to work on anything else. There's something incredibly satisfying and lovely about this. I do want to show you guys the color palette again. So this is the color palette that I have chosen. Nothing that is from the original pattern is represented here. I have changed every single one of the colors. My sister Amy loves this piece as well. Like when she saw it on Sunday, holy creep a cow. And my mom loves it too. And my mom did request that I stitch this pattern by Lila Studio. And we were talking about utilizing this color palette for the pattern that I'm about to show you from Lila Studio. Because for my mom, okay, I have to stop having this plugged in. It can be plugged in later. For my mom, these colors of Nevermore are a little too dark. So we're thinking about changing some of these main motifs, like this band here to maroon, this band here to the blue, the green is being in one, the pink being somewhere. Where was we thinking about the pink? Oh yeah, the pinks being in the medallion up here and stuff like that. And then of course the raven being the color that it's called for and things like that. And I think that will work really well on this piece and lighten things up quite well for my mom. And I have browns that I'm going to use in the other piece that I think will work really well here. Otherwise, I think the browns in this pattern would actually work really well with the color palette from here. So I know it's not a huge like shift to like summertime bright colors, but I think it brings in enough colors that it satisfies my mom's desire for it. Whereas in this piece, yeah, she really only uses like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colorways. So we would be adding to that quite a lot. So that's the plan there, and I do actually plan on casting that on probably this week because I do have everything here. I might even see if I have enough fabric of this Ada 20 count that I'm using for this piece to see if I can also do that. Otherwise, the other thing that I purchased that I was going to show you is I did purchase some more DMC that I was missing in my stash that I needed from 123 Stitch, but I also did purchase a 32 count vintage country mocha from Zweigart from 123 Stitch that I also thought would be a really good one for this. Let's see, but one thing I haven't done is put my colorways up against this vintage country mocha. So let's see what happens here. Let's move some stuff out of the way. And then let's pull out this vintage country mocha. And it's my understanding, yeah, it is. This vintage country mocha, I guess, is a printed fabric. So on one side, on this side, is a mottled look. And then on this side, it's just a plain even weave. So like honestly, you could choose either way. Obviously, I would choose this one. But let's see what this looks like. If we spread things out on here. Okay. All right, some things that I don't like, but that I also don't need. I don't like this one, so that could go away. Not so sure about, don't think I like this one on here. It's off. This might be okay, but there's something about it that's reading wrong to me. So this might also be changed out. 2 of the blues might be changed out. So it looks like 3 of the colors I would definitely take off, and either trade out or use what's called for in the pattern. Okay, so that's good to know. If I don't have enough of the 20 count Ada that I'm using over there, this is what I purchased this for, but my mom really likes that 20 count Ada, so I could be going with that. I don't know, but that's going to be cast on this week, so I'm excited about that. The next project that I worked on that I really need to focus on over the next week or so is the second time stitching the free pattern by Owl Forest Embroidery called Windmill. While that's loading, I'll pull this out. Do you like my project bag? This is a 1-color project, and on here why am I lifting the whole thing? This is what they've done for it. I have modified it. I am not stitching in the birds at the top. Instead, I am putting in my sisters and my initials. I have completed the first one for my sister Kelsey. I finished that one while I was on my trip back in April. And I used for that DMC, nope, I use a Coates and Clark colorway that I actually do not know the number to. It doesn't look like I've got it in here. But the one that I'm currently working on for my sister Amy is DMC Variegated 121. And I actually have worked on this quite a lot. You might not know it though, because the last time you saw it, I had stitched to about right there. So to your knowledge, I have just stitched this. That's not what happened. I had stitched, in fact, you can see some of my picking out. I had stitched all the way over here. I had stitched about 3 of the flowers on the down border, and then I had gone back. I had held it up, and I had noticed that I was off 1 stitch on the second flower. So the next 2 flowers were 1 stitch above this one, and it was quite noticeable because I am using 14 count white Aida, or the Hobby Lobby equivalent, and to white. The reason why I'm using stark white like this is because my goal, we collect transferware plates, and to me this just looks like a transferware plate if I use the blue, right, on the white. And so on my sister's I'm using a variegated blue, and on mine I was thinking about, because my favorite transferware color is either pink or brown, so I was thinking about, but my sister's is definitely the blue on white, so I was thinking about doing mine in pink or brown. So that would be really fun, but still on this stark white. So where things are going to change is I'm putting my sister's initials and my initials and my mom's initials. So I'm thinking it might go 1 initial, 1 initial, 1 initial, 1 initial. And if I can squeeze in our birth years, as in like mine is 1981, I would just put 81 by my name. I might do that. Or if I feel like I can still get it framed well, I want to put our maiden name down here under there. And that would be Melamin. So I was thinking about doing all of those things, but I wasn't positive, so I haven't completed Kelsey's. And I'm working on my sister Amy's. And I want to present all of these things totally framed and to my sisters. My sister Amy is 5 years and 2 days older than me. So her birthday is July 22nd, and my birthday is July 24th. So I want to present Kelsey and Amy with this on my sisters. We usually, Jimmy, what was that? We usually celebrate our birthdays all at the same time, and my husband's birthday is July 15th, so my husband's included in that now. And so we have a big celebration for all 3 of our birthdays. So I really wanted, whatever day it's going to be for that birthday celebration is when I want to present all of these framed pieces to my sisters. And I have plenty of extra Aida fabric. I've got all of this extra. In fact, I have enough extra that I could probably stitch one for my mom as well, if I am not totally sick of this piece by the time I have stitched it 3 times. We shall see. And, next year I'm thinking about doing something for my 3 brothers. I'm not sure what that will be, but so it would be the same piece and all 3 of them would have it. But the only difference would be that there would be the difference of the colorway. So it's going to be a 1 colorway image as well, sampler image as well for them. I don't know what it is yet, but the only differentiating piece on all of it will be the different 1 color floss that I use on each of their pieces next year. And then each of my siblings will have a family heirloom cross-stitch piece to pass on to their families. Yeah, okay. The next piece, oh no, that's my flag. That's the bag from my flag, so that one's all done. The next piece I worked on was one of my bingo WIPGO calls for this month, which is a kit by Arbis Art, and it's called Thirst for Adventure. I believe I am working on this side here. I believe that's what I'm doing. That's what I think I'm doing. I am stitching this on 16 count Easy Grid Aida that I got off of Amazon. I am stitching it with the floss that came with the kit, and let me tell you, I am not really enjoying this floss. It is 100% cotton, I'm not doubting that. What's troubling is that it knots quite easily and quickly. So to give you an example, like, I don't even know if you can see it, but it just doesn't seem to be a cohesive piece of thread. It just keeps knotting up on me. But this is what I have completed so far. It's not very inspiring or anything. Oh, hold on. You're not seeing all of it. Hold on, hold on. Actually, let's leave that out so we can see exactly where I'm at. And then let's put the floss pinned up over here. Okay. What was that? Why was that sticking? Okay. So this is what I have stitched up. The last time you saw it, I had this right here stitched. I believe I had all of this stitched. I believe all of this down to here is brand new. And that puts me at a total of, oh, I forgot to tell you how much I had stitched on the windmill. So we got a few things we got to add to our tally here. So on the windmill, according to this, which I am not counting my ripped out stitches, unfortunately. Oh, that's so pathetic. So on the windmill, I've only stitched 86 stitches. Not true. I have stitched way more than that, but whatever. And then on the Thirst for Adventure kit, let's see what I've got. Also, though, I'm looking at these colors, and this could also be some really good colors to use in exchange for the project for my mom, too. This has got some really beautiful, like that maroon there, my mom would love. And that sage. Sorry, totally got distracted. So, I have marked down 842 stitches that I've stitched for this month, which of course, you know, my WIPGO goal for each month is to stitch 500 stitches on whatever is called. So I've almost doubled, not quite, but anyways, but since you guys have seen me, I have stitched 397 stitches on Thirst for Adventure. Okay. Not bad at all. It's super easy to stitch on this, and I love the easy grid thing going on because I think with this one, because of the confusion of the pattern that I got from, because I bought the kit, I can get the PDF pattern, but the PDF pattern is pretty crap, let's just be honest. And it's because of the confusion of that, I'm so glad I chose to switch this over to an easy grid. It's just making things so much easier. And you can't really tell, but there are two different colorways in here. There's a super dark green right here, which is a combination of two different flosses. And then this is the hunter green right here that I put in. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep plugging away at that. It's, like I said, a overall super easy piece to stitch on. I might even take it, no, because I was going to say I might even take it to church for my church stitching next week, but no, I won't because I will not bring my tablet to church so that I can look at patterns. So I only stitch on stamped kits during church. Speaking of stamped kits, I forgot to pre-pack my stamped kits for this past Sunday, but it just so happened that I still had one in the car. And it was the one from May, from last month. And I wasn't really paying attention because I was at church, I was listening to the speakers, but then Jimmy was also being a little bit needy, not in an annoying way, just, you know, he wanted mommy's attention. And so I had on the needle a pink, and I had thought that I'm just messing up all over the place. I guess this is just how you learn. But I thought the pink was one thing to be stitched down here across the way, and it wasn't. So I stitched all the pink that I stitched down here, and then halfway through sacrament reading, I was like, oh, holy crap, that's not right. And I had to unpick all of that and then put the pink in the correct place. And then I was just able to put on my next color before sacrament was over. So this is actually what I've stitched on here. I am going to guess because I had to unpick it and everything, I am thinking, actually I can just count it right now. 2, 4, 6, 7 times 2, that's 14, times 3, that's 21. 21 times 2, because I also did it up there. 21 times 2, so it's 42 stitches. 42 stitches. Nice one, Em. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, 42 on May House. Ay, 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 ay. But this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I don't even think I've stitched on June at all yet. Usually this is my car stitching, and I have not had any car knitting really at all. Yeah. And I believe this is the last piece I have worked on right here coming up, and it is do everything with kindness, everything with kindness, everything. Kindness is everything. Let's see. Do all things with kindness. That's what it is. And this is by JBW Designs, and I have recharted it so that I can use it in my markup XP. So this is what the finished piece will look like when it's all done, according to how I recharted it. And I have finished all of this, and I don't know how much I had done when I last saw you. So I don't know if I stitched all of the words here and I worked on this or what. But I'll just show you what I have done, okay? We'll just leave it at that. I'll just show you what I have done. Oh, no, I remember. Okay, I remember. Last time you guys saw this, I was working on the bottom right here. So I did this chevron across here, and then I have since stitched all of what I could of the verbiage that is in my hoop area, and I have stitched all of this vine area. I believe that's right. You know, it would be helpful if I actually did what other people did and took pictures every time I did an episode. If I have the motivation and the energy, I might just take that picture today. But isn't it pretty? Look at that. Man, I love this piece. And if you remember, this is the piece that I would like to be done for my birthday. So, you know what? I'll take pictures anyway because I'm trying to do that whole collage thing for the front, for the cover of my episodes now. Ay, ay, ay. But see, wouldn't that just be pretty? You guys can't, I don't know that you can see that. Anyway, these are just random DMC colors that either I have used up the skeins or I felt I needed them in my stash. Now, the JBW Designs is an interesting one in that I have the pattern, in that on the pattern here, all the colors here, it's just green and pink, the entire piece. And so, whoa, what's happening over there, my love? You are? You all done with your drink? I think I've got 3 each. Okay, we'll get you some more, my darling. We've got 3 pinks and 3 greens. I believe that's it in this whole thing. And it's so pretty what comes out of it. And I am using a 28 count Witchalt linen Amazing Gray is the colorway. Amazing Gray. That's interesting. This does not look, no, that is not what I'm using on this. Not at all. No, I am using a 1, 2, 3 stitch. A lamb's wool linen, 32 count. Why is this in here? I'm taking that out. That was really confusing. So I am using a 32 count lamb's wool linen. I am stitching it 2 over 2. There you go. Now you've got the correct information. Aren't you happy? All right. So that is, oh, wait, let's see. Hold on. Let's pull up what I've stitched. Info. So I've stitched a total of 1,326 stitches on this piece. And since we last saw each other, I have stitched, hey, no barking, no growling, 234 plus 81. I've stitched 315 stitches on this. Kindness. All right, so let's see. We've got 666 plus 85 plus 397 plus, whoa, Jimmy, plus 42. So since you last saw me, I have stitched 1,505 stitches. I think last time I had quite a lot more. Let's see. Episode 21. Oh my gosh. I had 4,347 stitches last time. I have like a third of what I did. And that actually will lead me in to a life update, because that's going to explain to you why I did not have more stitches. Something that I really struggle with people is when they sit there and they tell you like, oh, I didn't get as much stitching done because I'm so busy. Okay, I get it. You're freaking cool. You got things to do. I'm so happy for you. I'm not bitter. For me, what happened is that last week, or maybe it was the week I think it was the week I recorded. The day after I recorded, I woke up the next day and I had this incredibly huge bruise. You can still see a little discoloration. Can you see it? Right? I had a huge bruise all right here, and it was swollen. It was very tender. And at first I was like, oh, so I couldn't really stitch much that first day. I think I stitched on this one and I only got like 84 stitches in before I had to give up the ghost. And then by Wednesday, it started swelling even more, and it started, discoloration started creeping across my hand. By Friday, I could not grip the steering wheel of my car. I had to drive one-handed. You couldn't see my knuckles, and it was all like, honestly, it looked like someone had taken gold shimmery makeup, because my hand actually shimmered a little bit, and just like caked on like this makeup onto my hand. And I had gone to my mom's house in the morning that Friday to try to pick up something I had forgotten there earlier that week, and I showed my mom and I was almost crying because I was like, I can't do anything. I can't stitch, I can't drive, I can't grip things, I can't pick up Jimmy. I said, it's almost as if I had mommy thumbs again. So if you don't know, mommy thumbs, there's a technical name for it, but I'm just going to call it mommy thumbs, is a thing where when you're pregnant, your ligaments, they get really super loose because it's preparing for you to be able to give birth through that channel in your vagina, right? So things need to loosen up. But it doesn't just loosen in that one area in your body, it loosens throughout your body. For me, what it did is after I had Jimmy, my hands were so loose that my thumbs kept popping out of their sockets. And I ended up having to wear, not casts per se, but braces and things like that, and doing a lot of physical therapy to re-strengthen my thumb ligaments in areas and, to get back a lot of strength there. And I was telling my mom on Friday, it felt like that was going on, but it's so different because when I had mommy thumbs, there was no discoloration, no bruising, no nothing, but it felt very similar. Well, my mom was just like, nope, you're going to urgent care. So she took Jimmy for the day and I went to urgent care, and they had no flippin' idea what was going on, but they were concerned. They were like, this is not usual. I can totally see that this is a problem. I have no idea what's happening. So they sent me for blood tests. They sent me for an x-ray. They did not send me for an MRI or anything like that. But every test that I had came back completely normal, as in like normal for this situation. There were markers for other things that I have going on in my system. But as far as this is concerned, nothing to go off of. So they're like, well, okay, I guess if you start throwing up or get a fever above 100, and I can't remember if it was 102 or 3, go to the hospital, but otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. So I've just been babying my hand ever since. It's been slowly getting better. The bruising seems to be going down. The discoloration is slowly going away, but you can still see you can still see the swollenness right there, which has meant that I haven't been able to stitch as much because this is my main stitching hand. Now it doesn't necessarily, if I was trying to knit, I wouldn't be able to knit with this hand at all. But for some odd reason, the lightness, even though the needle is so much thinner than a knitting needle, the lightness of the grip that I need to have in order to use my hand for stitching gives me enough that I can actually stitch some. So that's why over the last 2 and 3 day weeks, I have only stitched 1,500 stitches. On top of that, there's been some major life changes in my family as far as like, there's just some upheavals that are happening. Not necessarily, well, they're hard. I mean, like nobody's hurt or anything like that, but there's some family business things that have happened that have caused well, it's been good in that my family, we've all banded together and we've been working really hard on it. But it has been hard in that it has really been an upheaval in our lives currently right now, and that my parents' retirement has been completely threatened, and my parents have worked in so hard. They've only been retired. My dad is almost 80. He's only been retired for 4 years. And I'm so angry, and I can't talk about it. I'm not allowed to talk about it. There's courts involved and everything, and my parents are not in trouble in any way. In any way, they are not the ones in trouble, but they are having consequences from the situation that's going on. Do you love how secretive I'm having to be on that? Mm-hmm. But it has caused that my immediate family, like every spare moment we have, we are supporting my parents, and because it's also affecting us, so we're doing that. On top of that, some big, huge changes are happening for me in my career. I'm going to say that there's long-term super positive things that are going to come from it. I am not at the juncture in which I can actually discuss what those things are. But they have taken up a lot of my emotional and mental capacity over the last 2 weeks. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot. So if you don't know, I'm a mental health counselor. So my title is called LPCS. So I'm a licensed professional counselor supervisor. So that's the highest level of certification you can get as far as state licensure. It means that I'm smart enough, or I have the right qualifications to be able to supervise other people who are working towards their license. Anyway, some big major, like super heart-wrenching, very disappointing. I am super angry, disappointed, frustrated, and overall just very sad about some things that have happened in my work environment, which has caused me to make a very huge decision that I never thought I would ever make in my entire life, and which has then caused my husband and I to reevaluate our life goals, our trajectory on things, and we've just been having some extremely late night deep conversations, and it's been hard. I'm so exhausted, and so is my husband, and I feel for him, and I am so grateful to have my husband. He believes wholeheartedly in me. He supports me without a second thought. He knows what I'm capable of, and if I doubt myself, he doesn't doubt me, and I'm just so grateful to have my husband. And I did discuss with my parents because I discussed with my parents pretty much everything, but I did discuss with my parents some decisions that we have made, and they really surprised me in that they are wholeheartedly behind me. Usually my parents are very cautious individuals, and they question things to the nth degree. In this situation, they're like, yes, this is right. Hopefully by August, maybe by September, I'll be able to tell you the full thing. Okay? That's the plan. But yeah, lots of things have been going on for my family. But Jimmy, on the other hand, he's doing super amazing. I'm going to insert a picture of him riding his bike. He has been having so much fun riding his bike over at his grandparents' house. My dad bought him this bike last year, prematurely, obviously, because a 3-year-old with autism struggled to ride a bike last year. But this year, in just a couple days, like, he's a champion. So this is a video from yesterday when he was riding his bike around the neighborhood with my nephew Moses, and I'm riding behind him in the car. So here's that video. Look at my little boy riding his bike with his big cousin. Look at that. I'm just falling behind. He's doing so good. Look at him pushing. Just this last weekend, he couldn't figure it out, and look at him go. Okay, and the last thing, I got the new punch needle primitive stitcher magazine in the mail, and you know, I am not a huge fan of all patriotic things, but I gotta tell you, I actually really enjoyed this. I really want to stitch this one. I know a lot of people are stitching the Pledge of Allegiance pattern that came out at Market. I think it's really strange that this one also came out. I don't know if it's by the same person. I haven't looked it up, but I'm telling you, I love it. I also super love this one. I actually remember the name of this pattern. It's called Two Horses, and I want to stitch that one. Then this I can't remember if this was called Summer Basket. Let's see if I can't find it really quick. Oh, there's the Two Horses one, and that is by Norden Canberra. Oh, it's by Twin Peaks Primitives. Didn't her sister pass away or something like that? Lots of people have been passing away recently. Let's see. Oh, there's this really pretty strawberry in here that I want to stitch. I've never stitched a strawberry, but I can totally see myself stitching that. And if I remember correctly, the Colorado Stitcher right now for her summer camp stitch away, or whatever it's called, I think the prompt is to stitch something from a magazine. I'm telling you, I could stitch multiple things from here and be very happy. Oh, I really liked this one too. I don't know about the star here. That's very Teresa Kogut right there, don't you think? But this is this is called Watermelon Watcher by Chrissy Morgan of Finally a Farm Girl. Oh yeah, I think she's pretty popular too. But Teresa Kogut, she's usually pretty prominent in this magazine, and she's decided she's no longer going to do those. But here's that one, and it's called Summer Basket. I definitely want to stitch this one. Now, this one is stitched on 40 count, I believe. Yeah, 40 count linen dark soil by JBW Designs. Obviously, I'm not going to stitch it on 40 count, so mine would be a lot bigger. I don't know. I don't know what I would use for that one. I could honestly just use this 28 count for that. I don't know. We'll see. But I seriously want to cast that one on right now. But I really loved this one. And you know what? I grew up in a print shop. Oh, the smell of this magazine. ugh, it's like home to me, you know. The smell of the paper, the smell of the ink on the paper, the feel of the paper. By the way, guys, just so you know, are not cheaping out when it comes to this magazine. The quality of the glossy paper they are using for this magazine is very expensive. You guys are getting quite the quality product here. Like, I would say bookshelf quality. In my opinion, as a girl who grew up in a print shop, who managed her family print shop for over 10 years, I'm telling you, very, very good quality. And I have to renew my subscription to that, so I need to send that in. Oh, the last thing I was going to tell you about is I pulled this stitch from Mill Hill out, this kit out of my collection, and I thought I might give it a try. I'm not going to stitch it on the paper, so I did want to do a little bit of research about like what's the equivalent count so that I can use the beads appropriately that come in the kit for this. I don't know when I'll cast this on, but I did pull this out. Oh, and the last thing we have to talk about is the giveaway. Comments, Exie. Exie B, my friend, you win. So let me go grab the prizes. So that is, I'll put it up on the screen, EXIEB. So Exie, my love, if you'll message me on Instagram, because we're friends there, that is wonderful. So let me go grab the prizes and show them to you one more time so you can choose which one you want to contact me to send to you. So remember, Exie love, to send me obviously your name, but your address. I think that's it, right? That's all I need? Your name and address. Yeah, that's all I need. Yeah. You could also email me at kindredstitch907@gmail.com. You could do that too. Don't count on that one being the way that you actually get in contact with me. Instagram messaging, that's the one. All right, 1 second. All right. Got a random thing in there. All right, my darling. So you get to choose. You could choose whether you want to get the floss pack with the stitch minders. Is that what they're called? Floss minders. And this floss pack is from Night Stalkers. You could pick to get the kit with everything you need for this band sampler for Christmas. You could pick to get this kit of a fox. This is on 14 count. It comes with everything, and this is from Design Works. You could pick to get all of these vintage patterns here, all with magazines, vintage patterns. And on top of that, you're getting one of my handmade needle minders, and you get to choose between one of these Liz Matthews charts. So please let me know if you want a Pleasant sampler, the Quaker medallion. Remember, this is 2 pieces. You stitch this piece, and then on a separate piece, according to the patterned instructions, you stitch this medallion and then stitch it on top or pin it on top of the first piece, the bit larger piece. Then this is the Spanish Rose sampler. Please remember that this is all in Spanish, and I believe it just says her name in Spanish. So you could totally change that. You could make it into ABC if you wanted. And lastly, you could choose the homespun, is it house? No, homespun hearts samplers. I believe that's the last one, right? Yep, that's the last one. So one of these can come to you. You can pick from that. So I need you to let me know which packet prize you would like and which one of the Liz Matthews projects patterns you would like, and send me your address and I will send it out to you. I will leave the entrance capabilities open for one more week. If anyone else would like to enter in to win, you please need to go to episode 20 and read the episode to know how you enter to win. Okay? Thank you, Exie Love. Okay. Well, my friends, that's about it for today. So, oh, there is one more thing I want to show you. my sister Amy, who I've been talking about all this time, so in 1988, my sister Amy cross-stitched this for me, and I have had it ever since. So let's see, I was 7, and my sister Amy would have been about 12 or 13 when she stitched this. And look, there's even her back. Messy as all get out, but she did it. Look at that. Just want you to take that in for a moment. This has traveled with me everywhere I have ever lived. It always is on my wall, and I got it out because I didn't feel like we now know that we're going to be back in our condo until at least September. And so I was like, well, if that's the case, I'm getting out some key things. And this I always have to have with me wherever I am. And so, see, look, she even has her name way down there that she stitched 1 over 1, the year of 88. My sister, she did back stitching. Look at that back stitch. Look how well she did. I mean, come on. My sister is so awesome. So I just wanted to share that with you too, because I'm going to put that up. Oh, and these here are 3 of my stamped cross-stitch pieces that I have actually finished. So all of them have had the ink washed off, and they are now framed. This is my favorite one and my latest finish from last summer, I believe I finished this. Or was it winter? But this is my favorite one. I love it. So, and then of course I have to have my cow. So there's my cow. And then this one's a winter scene. I think this is the first one I did of this series. And I plan on stitching the entire series of this. I have all of them, and I plan on stitching all of them in that series. So I like it. So these are all three flosses over one square, because they are all 11 count. All right. Thank you, my friends, for joining me. Oscar, do you want to say bye-bye? Oh, yes, there's some grout. You want to say bye-bye? Yeah. And Teddy, you want to say bye-bye? I love you guys. You guys are great. Yeah, they're getting groomed on Friday. Yes, you are. All right. Thank you, guys. And remember to stitch what you love and love what you stitch. Ta-ta for now.